It's time for Table Talk as we are joined by John Harper and Sal Licata and the Chattering Teeth, of course, to start us off. And the Correa saga continues. It's a soap opera, but Sal, hypotheticals here. What's one move the Mets should make if they finish the Correa deal and he comes to the Mets?
I would look to shore up that bullpen. First of all, I'm fed up with the Correa stuff. Like, either do it or don't. Let's all move on already.
Buying this lace?
I mean, no, I'm not buying any reports. So just let me know what happens. I would go with Zach Britton Harp in the bullpen. Terry Collins brought that up earlier on Baseball Night in New York, and I think that's a great idea. You can never have enough good arms in that bullpen. Yeah. You could probably get Britton for nothing right now, and you have a guy that could be a legitimate closer, and you think, well, what closing opportunities would you have? Well, how many times do we see Edwin Diaz get used in the 7th or 8th inning in a big spot? Point is, and I know the Mets have done a nice job adding to that bullpen, you could never have enough. Plus, he's a lefty, familiarity with Buck. I think Zach Britton could be a final piece of that bullpen.
Yeah, that makes sense, Sal. I'd be a little bit worried about it. He's had a lot of different injuries in recent years, but he's a guy that would fit them for sure. I go the same way in the bullpen if they do get Correa, but I'd go Michael Fulmer. Remember, he's the guy they traded to get Cespedes way back when, Rookie of the Year for the Tigers as a starter in 16. Since Tommy John, he's turned into a pretty effective reliever, and he's had the last couple of years been strong. Got traded for last year, Tigers and the Twins, independent race. He's not a big strikeout guy, but generates a lot of soft contact. I think he'd fit perfectly in that 6th, 7th inning type role, but I'm with you. I think they need the more arms, the better in that pen.
Fulmer and Britton, two names the New York baseball fans are familiar with. All right, Harp, let's just say worst-case scenario here. What's one move the Mets should make if the Correa deal falls apart?
Yeah, I'd be looking still to add power. We've talked a lot about that, and I would go Adam Duvall. Remember, he's the guy that had a big year for the Braves 2 years ago. Hit 38 home runs. Had a wrist injury last year. Had surgery on that wrist. So obviously, you got to check that out. And you probably need to see him, maybe even see him swing the bat before you're going to sign him. But I think he's the best guy out there in terms of the power and not having to make a trade where you're going to raid some of your top prospects. So I would try and go Adam Duvall.
Yeah, I would make a trade where you're going to get rid of some of your top prospects because I think they need a little bit better than Duvall. I want Brian Reynolds. He's available. Go out there and get him. Mets need an outfielder. You could then move Mark Canha to the bench, a 4th outfield spot, or a guy who could play left, play a little right, maybe DH a little bit. Plus, you have Escobar, who could obviously play third base. So I like that lineup with Reynolds. Is he the prototypical 5-hitter that I'm looking for? No, but he gives with some pop, good hitter, good all-around ball player. That, to me, would be a big enough move to where, you know what, all right, they miss out on Correa, but they go out there and get an all-star in Brian Reynolds.
Giving up Beatty and Mauricio and all those
I don't know how much I'm giving up, but I'm giving up some of it. Hey, look, there's not going to be enough spots, Harp, as you know what all this.
Yeah.
If they don't get Correa, I don't think you give up Beatty, but Mauricio for sure.